I've made it no secret that I just thought it was in poor taste for you to continue with the pre-Grammy party when Whitney's body was still upstairs in the hotel room. Remember, Whitney passed away the same day as your annual party. Why did you go on and have the party? Just asking.
Obviously, everyone, including their grandmas, has never understood why Clive Davis pressed forward with his pre-Grammy party even after Whitney Houston was announced dead at the exact same venue. Especially not Wendy Williams.
We dedicated the evening. Whitney would have wanted this party to go on any more than...
Well, guess what? Word on the street is that Miss Wendy Williams is allegedly bringing up this story again and even suggesting that it was some sort of ritual. And it's not just about Whitney, by the way, because insiders are claiming that she's got tea on more shocking files that will blow everyone's mind. Honey, is this what is really going to bring her back? I don't know. But what I can say is, how you doing? Okay, guys, we know that when we talk about the ultimate record executives who shaped pop culture with an iron fist, Davis sits right at the top of the pyramid, and this was the kind of person who was always on Wendy's radar. Well, when he was alive, nobody, including Wendy, could dare expose Davis because of all the power and influence he possessed. But now that he's gone, Wendy is allegedly done sitting on these messy details. And one thing she's reportedly gearing up to talk about is how he may have been responsible for the death of countless artists and the sabotage of many others, starting with Rob Pilatus.
All along, Davis knew, Mr. Davis knew. He promised us to help to persuade Frank to sing on the record. He promised us, he gave us the word. And you see what he did now? He turned around his speed because for money.
After Davis knew a lot of advance before the Grammys, what is here the case? If it's needed, maybe one day we can also prove that even earlier, the record company, not only here in America, that all record company executives all over the world knew about what kind of game was here.
Rob Pilatus was the first person to speak out about the industry's dark side, but no one wanted to listen to him because the media and fans thought Rob was the one lying. Yet, he was 100% right about industry corruption and how they control artists. Eventually, whatever he was saying back in the day ended up being completely true. Because a lot of people who also passed through those same executive hands went through the exact same nightmare, like Luther Vandross, baby. While Luther was literally healing all of us with his voice, he was being forced to do things he didn't want to by the elites. One person who comes up constantly in this regard is the person who worked with Luther the most, Mr. Clive Davis. There have been reports that just like many other legends, he was being overworked and threatened every time he tried to fight for his rights. But allegedly, when it comes to Luther, it wasn't just about the music. I have seen reports claiming that Davis was also forcing him to be intimate with him, and this is allegedly one of the bombshells Wendy has been discussing behind the scenes. Allegedly, Wendy also has tea about how Luther tried to warn Whitney about the industry because she was someone he truly cared about, and their connection was deeper than anyone could have imagined.
A note to me saying that you are going to be one of the greatest singers that ever lived. Really, and I still have it to this day.
Whenever we walk into a room together, we just start harmonizing, and it's like H2 and O in a test tube, immediate chemistry, boom.
My mother told me about Luther Vandross. Not only what a great singer, vocalist, writer, but what a great person.
Well, based on reports, Luther tried to tell Whitney that the elites, especially Davis, were only using her to get richer. And when they no longer needed her, they would make sure she was gone for good. Speaking of Whitney, right before she died, insiders spilled that she was getting clean and starting to take her control back. Her team didn't like that because they wanted to continue making money off her, just like Luther had reportedly warned her. Money was the only thing they cared about.
You were, I think, going to go to the Davis party.
Yes.
It was a surreal event where Whitney's body was still in the hotel, and there was this sort of party where apparently half the room were in tears, the other half were kind of partying. What did you feel about that?
I thought that was complete insanity. And knowing Whitney, I don't believe that she would have said, the show must go on. She was the kind of woman that would say, stop everything. I'm not going to be there. I I don't know what could motivate a person to have a party in a building where the person whose life he had influenced so enormously and whose life had been affected by her. So they were like, I don't understand how that party.
And to a lot of people, this explains why even when Whitney Houston died at the Beverly Hills Hotel, Davis cold-heartedly insisted the party must go on because he never truly cared about her. In addition, people have always said they believe Whitney's daughter, Bobby Christina Brown, even found out what really happened to her mom and also blamed Davis. In fact, there have been reports claiming that she was physically present when Whitney was having explosive arguments with Davis shortly before she died.
Grammy time.
That happened.
And her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for...
By the time Whitney was handing Brandy that mysterious note while completely soaked, insiders have said she knew something bad was going to happen to her. The fact that Brandy refuses to say what was in that note to this day only adds to the speculation that it was a dire warning, most likely about Davis. Anyway, moving on, the other group Wendy is allegedly talking about is TLC, another act that never stood a chance under his watch.
10 million albums and how can we be broke? It's kind of... I can't go into everything right now, but trust me, you can sell 10 million albums and be broke if you have greedy people behind.
The thing is, despite their remarkable success throughout the 1990s, securing an impressive 9 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, TLC were being paid peanuts. They were pretty open about how Davis earned about $75 million from them and gave them a paltry $150,000 to split among themselves. And this was in addition to him constantly sabotaging them. I mean, producer and songwriter Soulshock explicitly talked about how L.A. Reid wanted Heartbreak Hotel for TLC, just like Lisa Left Eye Lopez said in Sister 2 Sister magazine back in 1999. But Davis used his executive power to forcefully take it from them and give it to Whitney Houston instead.
Well, LA didn't talk to me for like a year and a half. And then next time it happens, it's Heartbreak Hotel that he wants for TLC and Clive wants for Whitney, and Clive wins again. So me and LA, yeah, we're very good.
Lisa Left Eye. Lopez had become increasingly vocal about the music industry and its tight control over artists, clashing directly over contracts, money issues, and creative control. There were even reports that she was actively working on an explosive tell-all book or documentary that would expose the dark side of the entertainment world, but she ended up dying under mysterious circumstances, just like many other people who tried to expose and confront figures in power. Then there's also Phyllis Hyman, who Wendy Williams is allegedly highlighting as well.
Phyllis Hyman was a musical genius.
She had a tremendous presence.
She was a total creative package.
They kind of struggled with how to market her.
Pop radio didn't know who Phyllis Hyman was.
She never was a big seller. That had to be demoralizing.
She was going through a lot of these different mood swings.
She would say things like, I have demons. Her work started to become her enemy.
She had come to the end of her rope.
She felt that it was her life and she could do with it as she pleased. There was only one Phyllis Hyman, and after her there'd never be another.
When Davis signed Phyllis, many thought she was destined to soar, but reportedly he had a very rigid, specific vision for her. He wanted crossover success, radio hits, and platinum plaques based on what he thought would sell. Phyllis, on the other hand, had her own ideas. She knew who she was, she knew the kind of music she wanted to make, and she wasn't about to let anyone put her in a box. Because of this, she was sidelined and eventually sabotaged. I mean, just listen to what Phyllis herself said about how he literally worked to end her career after they clashed over creative differences.
It taught me to never be afraid because I was so terrorized by him. Whether he meant to do it or not, I'll never know. But he sure taught me that if you try to terrorize me again, well, we can't say that on public radio. What I may do to someone who tries to hurt me again in this business, I'm not having it. I should be respected as I respect, and I will not have someone try to ruin my spirit and ruin my career. If Davis, if his plan was to destroy my career, It didn't work.
So, as time went by, the relationship between Phyllis and Davis only got worse. She fiercely resisted his control because while Phyllis had spent years perfecting her craft, he saw her merely as someone he could mold into the next big pop puppet. And because she wouldn't fall in line, she also ended up dead. Now, this next one really shocked me, but Davis has even been accused of having a hand in Angie Stone's tragic death. For those who recall, right before she passed, Angie basically called out Universal Music for stealing from her for decades, stating she was doing whatever was necessary to ensure they paid her for her life's work for her children and grandchildren. She alleged that proper registration procedures for her songs had been neglected, pointing to several class action lawsuits over songs that were never properly registered by the companies she signed with. In addition, she mentioned having a relentless legal team looking into what she was owed and warned future artists about the twisty traps of the industry.
One way or the other, Universal Music, you're going to have to give up my coins. And so what I'm doing now is whatever is necessary to make sure they pay me for the legacy of my life, for my children and my grandchildren. They're going to have to give me my money. I mean, when you sit back and think Bruno Mars, Dr. Dre, when you think about all these people that have sampled music, if they're filthy rich on it, what's our problem? Or my problem? Oh, yeah. So you got to get a diesel crew, and I call them a diesel crew, to go in and rectify the issue.
Unfortunately, she never lived long enough to get paid what she was owed, and for some reason, people suspected that powerful industry forces were heavily involved in her death, with rumors even alleging that Davis owned the trucking company involved in her fatal accident. Honey, these are just a few examples of people who never stood a chance. Remember, there's also Kelly Clarkson, who tried to warn us all the way back in 2013 when she publicly called him out for being a lying troll in his memoir. Allegedly, Wendy has got all the tea on this as well, including how Diddy supposedly took the fall for bigger executives. But guess what? Wendy is also reportedly gearing up to expose how the allegations extend far beyond standard contract disputes, drawing dark parallels to systemic vices like illegal transportation networks and alleged elite rituals typically associated with figures like Jeffrey Epstein. Insiders say she plans to detail how he operated within an untouchable web of high-profile power players, including longtime industry friends like Oprah Winfrey, who allegedly helped maintain a protective media shield to control public narratives and suppress disturbing secrets for decades. What I know for sure is that if it's coming from Wendy, it's going to be real good, because she doesn't play about receipts. But as we wait for her side of the story, let me know what you think should definitely be exposed in the comment section below.